You saw the title and thumbnail, so you're here for the best builds in Renegades. I'm Marshix, and first up is an old build that gets way better. Still Hunt is the exotic sniper rifle that shoots golden gun shots. It has its own super bar that you can fill up by collecting orbs of power and getting precision shots, and activating its super makes it literally shoot golden gun shots. Because of this, it also works with Celestial Nighthawk to condense all those shots into one really strong shot. And starting in Renegades, this Nighthawk shot deals 40% more damage, a significant buff, allowing this to absolutely nuke champions and melt bosses. Between this and your actual golden gun, you'll be spamming golden gun shots and destroying everything. Then throw in your prismatic subclass with a smoke bomb to apply a debuff for even more damage, and Facet of Dawn to make you radiant for even more damage. Yes, radiant works with golden gun. Now just make your super stat as high as possible to deal the most damage, pop Transcendence and throw a smoke bomb to both debuff the boss and buff yourself, and then just blow up everything with golden guns. This is the strongest build I've ever played with. Warlocks recently got a massive update, making all of their elemental buddies count as grenades, meaning they deal more damage based on your grenade stat. They trigger mods like Firepower to spawn orbs of power, and fragments like Facet of Dominance to jolt everything they touch. So Prismatic Warlocks with Getaway Artist are eating good. Getaway Artist allows us to consume our Arc Grenade to get an Arc Soul. With Facet of Dominance, everything this Arc Soul hits will become jolted for Chain Lightning, and on top of that, we can pair this with either Hellion or Bleak Watcher for another elemental buddy that counts as a grenade too. Hellion spawns by using your class ability, and Bleak Watcher spawns each time you summon an Arc Soul. And while you can run all three at a time, it's much better to choose only one and use Feed the Void as your other aspect. This gives us Devour each time any of our abilities get a kill, healing us and refilling our grenade energy so we can squeeze as much free labor out of our buddies as possible. So just use any combination of these three aspects, 200 grenade stat or 160 with 2 grenade fonts, and Firepower to spawn tons of orbs of power for your armor charges. Now just eat your grenade to spawn your buddies, and you can just stand there and they'll do all the work. This build basically plays the game for you, so I like to open up another game on the side to maximize my grinding. And one of the most iconic franchises is now in the game, and you can collect one of the legendary champions for free because Raid Shadow Legends is partnering with 20th Century Games to bring 2 of the galaxy's most dangerous creatures to raid, the Xenomorph and Predator. You can get your hands on the legendary champion Xenomorph for free just by logging into Raid for 7 days starting November 24th, and logging in beyond those 7 days will give you even more rewards to upgrade him. And by completing the Champion Pass, you can unlock the legendary champion Predator. And this is a limited time event. Once they're gone forever. So start now by using my link in the description to download Raid and start working towards these awesome characters. I've been playing Raid for years, and I love how there's always something to work towards, whether it be pushing deeper into the Cursed City, optimizing my teams for PvP, or dealing the most damage to the clan bosses. If you haven't started playing Raid yet, why not? Click my link in the description or scan this QR code to get amazing bonuses available only through my link. You'll instantly unlock a huge starter pack with the epic champion Zargala, a great support character. Then when you reach rank 15, you'll get Tagoar, another powerful support character. And you can get one more legendary by using one of these 6 promo codes. Pick between Green Warden Ruark, Alice the Wanderer, Tahana, Sun Wukong, Tholen Valbeard, and Ultimate Death Knight, which is my main sustainer and the legendary I recommend most out of these. He'll keep your entire team alive by giving them shields, healing them, and drawing aggro away. And don't forget to log in for 7 days to claim the legendary Xenomorph and complete the Champion Pass to get the legendary champion Predator. This is a limited time offer, so don't miss this opportunity. Once you're in game, you can find me under the name Marshix Prime, and you can join my clan called the Meerkat Crew. Thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. You can one-shot everything with your throwing hammers. This build was nerfed into the ground years ago, but after many changes and insane power creep, this build is finally back and better than ever. First, we're running Roaring Flames and Sol Invictus. Roaring Flames will increase the damage of our hammers by getting kills with them, and Sol Invictus will spawn sunspots with each hammer kill to constantly heal us so we never die. Now, this does decent damage, but we can make it much higher. Next, we want 200 melee stat, or 160 with 2 melee fonts, and this will increase our melee damage even further. And unlike all the other melee buffs, this is multiplicative, which basically means it scales higher than other buffs, so it's extremely important that you get this as high as possible. Now we're going to throw in a weapon with 1-2 punch. On hand cannons, this is a 75% increase, and on shotguns, this is a 150% increase. So use a shotgun if you want the most damage possible, or if you want a smaller buff that you can use more often since it only takes primary ammo, go with a hand cannon like Aureus Neutralizer with 1-2 punch and Grave Robber, so it'll reload each time you get a melee kill. And we have one more thing to make our punches even more OP, and that is Worm God Caress. Each melee kill will increase your melee damage, stacking up to 5 times. This increases your damage by up to 275%. Which is absolutely massive, and it got a change a while back, so now the stacks decay over time rather than losing them all at once, making this very simple and easy to maintain. Throw in Ember of Torches to constantly make you radiant, and Heavy Handed to give you permanent armor charges. Now just throw hammers to get Roaring Flames times 3 and 5 Worm God stacks. Then with 1-2 punch, you'll destroy almost everything in the game, especially when you add in positive modifiers like Brawler, Solar Surge, and Full Throttle. You'll be absolutely unstoppable. This build turns your primary weapon into a heavy weapon, Lucky Pants. Swapping to a hand cannon will increase your hand cannon damage after every bullet, stacking up to 10 times and going up to a 450% damage increase before any other buffs. And since we want as many stacks as possible before the buff runs out, we're pairing this with Agape. This is a 2-round burst hand cannon, which is the archetype with the highest RPM, allowing us to get all 10 stacks in only 5 trigger pulls, and everything beyond that will maintain the highest damage buff. It also gets rewind rounds, which allows it to shoot around 60 bullets before reloading, and Vorpal Weapon for free damage against bosses. This is usually just a small damage buff, not even really worth considering, but on primary weapons, this is a 20% buff that you don't have to do anything for. On top of that, Prismatic makes it really easy to increase your damage by a lot more. Smoke Bomb will apply a 15% debuff with your melee, and Facet of Dawn will also make you radiant each time you throw your melee. So just by throwing your Smoke Bomb, you'll deal 43% more damage. Then Lucky Pants and Transcendence will push that even higher. And against really big targets, you can pop Tether, which is a larger debuff, for even more damage. Now, most armor sets only provide a minor benefit, but for this build in particular, the Collective Psyche armor set from DP will make a huge difference. This will make our radiant effects last 8 seconds instead of 5, which keeps us radiant for the entire duration of Lucky Pants. Then for the stats, you'll want at least 70 melee so you can get your full Smoke Bomb back with Gambler's Dodge, 100 super so you can get your tethers back faster, and if possible, 200 weapon stat for an additional 15% damage buff against bosses. Now just pop your tether and throw a Smoke Bomb, swap to your hand cannon, and then melt whatever's in your way with a legendary hand cannon. A change I was not expecting with this update was a buff to Osteostriga. This poison SMG has always been a solid ad clearing weapon, and it's getting even better because it now triggers its poison cloud every 2 seconds rather than every 4 seconds. This might not sound like much, but that's literally double the poison clouds. So let's double down on that by pairing it with a Strand Warlock using Necrotic Grips. These gauntlets will make your melee spread poison too, but more importantly, it will upgrade the poison from Osteostriga, allowing it to chain kill enemies and wipe out everything with ease. As you can see, if the enemy dies from poison, it'll just continue to spread and spread and spread. And our Strand subclass makes this even better because we can run Mindspun Invocation. This allows us to consume our Shackle Grenade to get a buff called Weaver's Trance. While we have this buff, all kills will create an explosion that suspends anything hit by it. And since our poison combo will be getting lots of kills, we'll be creating so many of these suspending explosions. Anything not immediately killed by the poison will become suspended, then you can poison them to spread that suspending poison even more. This is incredible for ad clear, and while you don't have any overpowered healing effects on Strand, you will stay alive pretty easily since enemies can't shoot you if they're suspended. Just make sure you're running Threat of Generation and 100 grenade stat so you can keep your Weaver's Trance active all the time, and Threat of Continuity so your suspend effects last longer. And if you want to be really sweaty, the 4-piece armor set from Desert Perpetual will also increase your suspend effects by about 1 more second. And while that does sound cool, I'm not running that raid again. Up next is one of the most well-known builds, but in case you haven't played in 2 years, Prismatic Titans can spam their abilities like crazy and blow everything up. Consecration is the aspect that allows you to jump up in the air and slam down to deal a lot of melee damage and instantly trigger an ignition. Because this uses melee energy, if you run the strand melee, you'll get 3 charges, which means you can get 3 consecrations. And we can make this even better by using an exotic class item. There are 2 that I really like, Heart of Inmost Light and Synthoceps, so you can consecrate more often and deal more damage with each one. And when I need better ad clear, I like to run Spirit of the Assassin with Spirit of Contact, so I can go invisible after every kill and jolt anything hit by the slam. So this will stun Overload champions with Jolt, Unstoppable champions with the Ignition, and with Facet of Dawn, you'll become Radiant with each slam, allowing us to pierce barrier champions too. So if you're looking for pure damage, go for Inmost Synthoceps, or if you want to go for ad clear and champion versatility, go with Inmost Contact or Assassin Contact for survivability. Besides that, throw in Knockout to heal after every kill, and aim for 200 melee stat to deal more damage with each slam. Heavy-handed will allow you to spawn Orbs of Power with each consecration, and Glacier Grenade will quickly build up your darkness energy for Transcendence. And since Consecration will be giving you most of your light Transcendence, you'll get it back extremely fast, and if you ever run out of abilities, just pop Transcendence to get them back instantly and continue spamming your melees over and over and over and over. And believe it or not, Warlocks have a nearly identical version of this build. We're once again using Prismatic, but instead of Consecration, we're using Lightning Surge. This allows us to slide melee to turn into a ball that jolts things. And once again, using a strand melee will give us 3 charges, so we'll be able to slide over and over and over. And just like the Titan class item, Warlocks can also get Spirit of Inmost Light with Spirit of Synthoceps, so we can recharge our melees faster and deal more damage with each one. Now, instead of Knockout to heal after every melee, we have Feed the Void to heal after every melee. For the stats, I would still aim for 200 melee or 160 with 2 fonts, and heavy-handed to ensure you always have armor charges. Now, just like the Titan build, you want to spam your electric slides until you get your Transcendence, and then continue to spam them even more. There is actually one thing that makes this better than Consecration, and that is 1-2 punch. Since the Titan's Consecration spits out a wave of fire, it eats up the 1-2 punch buff. But since Warlocks don't have that, we get to increase our melee damage even further if we shoot before we slide. Almost one-shotting champions on ultimate difficulty, and with a Void debuff from our grenade, definitely one-shot champions on ultimate. But it gets better. Winter's Guile is actually getting a massive update, making it better than Inmost Synthoceps. Melee kills will give you a stacking damage buff similar to Worm Gods, but once you reach 10 stacks, you'll immediately get 1 melee charge and enter Warlord's Rage for 10 seconds. While enraged, you'll get much faster melee abilities, and plus 500% melee damage. That's 3 times more than Synthoceps. So this will probably be the go-to melee exotic for Warlocks. It does take some time to build up the stacks, but the upside is so insanely powerful that it's going to be worth it. You can melt enemies with Fletchet Storm. This allows you to jump up in the air and use your melee energy to throw strand projectiles. Each one takes half of a charge, so you'll be able to throw 5 melees, or if you're wearing Wishful Ignorance, you can throw 7 of them. This exotic also recharges your melees faster when using Banner of War, and it will steadily increase your melee damage as you deal damage with them. So not only are you getting a lot of melees, but they'll also hit as hard as my dad after 5 drinks. Then 200 melee stat will push that even further, and Banner of War will push that even further. Staying alive is really easy with this build because Banner of War will heal after every pulse, Heavy-handed will spawn Orbs of Power with melee kills, which also heal us, and with Threat of Warding, those orbs will give us Woven Mail too. On top of that, Threat of Fury will recharge our melees faster, and Threat of Propagation will give our strand weapons unraveling rounds with every melee kill, making Mint Retrograde deal a little bit more damage, and pierce barrier champions in seasons where we don't have anti-barrier pulse rifles. This build is incredible in all types of content, since you get the insane damage potential of stacking melee buffs without even having to get close to enemies. Definitely try this out if you haven't. This next build allows you to deal a ton of damage with your primary weapon and spam supers too, but you'll have to click on this video to see how. Thanks for watching, I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget to download Raid Shadow Legends using my link in the description to get some awesome bonuses in game.